Hello, this is our presentation on bullying on social media by Greg Carreker, Ashley Clanton, Ryan Fell, Melissa Gilbert, and Breanna Poole. My name is Breanna Poole. This was our presentation. We've been working on it for the past month or so for our class at University of West Alabama. And this presentation just goes over a little bit about bullying on social media, how it appears and things like that. So we're just going to go through this. First, we have some guiding questions that are that's going to follow us throughout this presentation, which is what is bullying and how can it happen on social media, and what can I do? So what can I do as in us specifically, us as in people in general, and as educators. First, but before we can answer these questions, first we have to identify what is this? What is the problem? So there are multiple problems when it comes to cyberbullying on social media, and that is the first, that people of all ages are bullied through social media. Many times people will want to say, oh, this is just an issue for children, but it's really not. Bullying can happen at any age, especially through social media. Um, and then some think that because it's not physical, it doesn't hurt. People think because if you're not physically being hurt, it doesn't then leave some kind of lasting impression on you. And that's just not true, because things can still hurt emotionally, mentally. And this presentation kind of goes through that and talks about how, even though this is not physical in the same sense as bullying and face to face, it can still leave a lasting impression. And another problem is some think I'm too old to be cyberbullied. No one is ever too old to be cyberbullied, because cyberbullying happens online and people of all ages are online. So now that we've defined the problem, let's define what is cyberbullying slash just bullying in general. So what it is: bullying through phones, computers, or tablets. And it can happen via text, apps, social media, forums, and gaming platforms. It includes spreading false information, sharing private details, and public embarrassment. And sometimes it can be illegal. Many people don't realize that, but there are elements of cyberbullying that are illegal. Common platforms it happens on are social media: Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. It can happen through text, messaging apps, and instant chats. Forums and message boards, for example, Reddit, and email and online gaming communities like Discord. Why it's a challenge. Persistent. Victims struggle to escape due to constant communication. If you are on these apps, if you're on these places, they can find different ways to get to you. So it can be very persistent. Permanent. Harmful content can be public and affect future opportunities. Once it's online, it's online. People can always see it. Hard to detect. Often happens in private spaces, making it difficult for parents and teachers to intervene. Things like private chats, DMs, direct messages, places like that where it can be hard for people to see. Like, you have to go out of your way to share it with other people. And it can be very embarrassing to have to go and share that information. So what are some cyberbullying, how is cyberbullying prevalent? 2022 School Crime Supplement reported that 21.6% of bullied students aged 12 through 18 experienced online text bullying. So that is about a little under 25% of students, and that is an alarming amount of people that are being cyberbullied through online texting. The 2023 Youth Risk Behavior Survey said that 16% of high school students were electronically bullied in the past year. So if you have 16% of high school students, that can fill several different high schools. And so that's a lot of people. Gender disparity. More girls, that is 27.7%, than boys, 14.1%, reported cyberbullying. So there is a pretty large gap in gender on who's being cyberbullied or who is reporting cyberbullying. Some of the key takeaways are that online bullying remains a serious issue. Differences in data may be due to survey methods and age groups. Emphasizes the need for digital safety education, mental health support, and anti-bullying policies. What are some cyberbullying tactics? Why it matters. Why it matters, we know about cyberbullying tactics. Recognizing cyberbullying helps in taking action quickly. Common cyberbullying tactics: posting mean, hurtful, or embarrassing comments or rumors, making threats or encouraging self-harm, sharing harmful pictures or videos, impersonating others to spread fake or personal information, posting hateful content about race, religion, or other personal traits, creating harmful web pages targeting someone, and doxing, that is exposing personal information such as addresses, social security number, phone numbers, excuse me, to harass or threaten individuals. So it can take many forms, and it's very important that people who are being cyberbullied are able to see it and then take action, or people who see cyberbullying can see it and take action. So, what are some warning signs that you can see in real life? Um, as a victim, perpetuator, or witness, you could be involved as all three at some point in your life. And more digital platforms means a higher risk of exposure. The more platforms you're on, the higher risk you have to be either a victim or a witness, or even become a perpetrator yourself, either intentionally or non intentionally. Some warning signs of cyberbullying is sudden increase or decrease in device use, strong emotional reaction, laughter, anger, distress while using devices, hiding screens, avoiding discussions about online activity, trying to hide it from you or someone you know, social media accounts suddenly shut down or new ones appear, avoiding social situations, even previously enjoyed ones, and becoming withdrawn, depressed, or losing interest in activities and people. So, what are some of the challenges of bullying on social media? Cyberbullying presents several challenges, often affecting both individuals and society as a whole. Some of the key challenges include the anonymity of perpetrators. So cyberbullies can hide behind fake profiles or anonymous accounts, making it difficult to identify and hold them accountable. If you don't know who they are, you can't hold them accountable. An example is Megan, a 13-year-old from Missouri, was cyberbullied on MySpace by Josh Evans. A fake account later revealed to be created by an adult, Lori Drew. After gaining Megan's trust, the messages turned cruel, leading to Megan's tragic suicide. The anonymity of the perpetrator intensified her distress, highlighting the dangers of online harassment. So this is an example of a child, a 13-year-old, being cyberbullied by an adult. So people will often say it's just a child issue, and it's really not. Because as we see here, a child lost her life because of cyberbullying by an adult. Another issue is that it's persistent and inescapable. Unlike traditional bullying, cyberbullying follows victims 24/7 through digital devices, making it hard to escape, even at home. Traditional bullying at school, there can be at least some reprieve when you're not at school. Cyberbullying, it can follow you anywhere because you can have your device anywhere. An example is Amanda Todd, a 15-year-old from Canada, was relentlessly cyberbullied after an explicit image which she shared was spread online. Despite changing schools, the harassment continued, leading to anxiety, depression, and self-harm. Tragically, she took her own life in 2012. Her case highlights the severe impact of inescapable online bullying. You cannot escape it, and it can lead to tragic results. Some more challenges. Rapid spread of harmful content. Hurtful messages, photos, or videos can go viral quickly, reaching a large audience within minutes and increasing the emotional impact on the victim. An example is Tyler, a college student, was secretly filmed and the video was shared online, quickly going viral. The widespread bullying and humiliation led to his tragic suicide in 2010. His case highlights the dangerous impact of rapidly spreading harmful content. And there is difficulty in enforcement and regulation. Laws on cyberbullying vary by country and region, making it challenging to create a standardized approach to prevention and punishment. An example is Phoebe, a 15-year-old from Massachusetts, faced relentless and online and offline bullying. Despite evidence, harassers were not initially held accountable due to gaps in cyberbullying laws and the abuse occurring across different platforms. Tragically, Phoebe took her own life in 2012, highlighting the challenges in enforcing and regulating cyberbullying. Cyberbullying, there are gaps in how we address it, so it can lead to gaps in how it is addressed by law enforcement and schools. Some more challenges are the psychological and emotional impact. Victims of cyberbullying often experience anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, and even suicidal thoughts, making mental health support crucial. An example is Casey Haynes, an Australian teen, was severely bullied online, leading to anxiety, depression, and damaged self-esteem. The emotional impact of the bullying had lasting effects on his mental health, showing the deep psychological toll of cyberbullying. And there is limited control over a digital footprint. Once harmful content is shared online, it is difficult to remove it completely, as it can be reshared and stored by others. For example, Jamie, a 14-year-old from New York, was bullied online for his sexual orientation. The harmful content spread uncontrollably across social media, and despite his efforts to cope, he couldn't escape the harassment. Tragically, Jamie took his own life in 2011, highlighting the impact of limited control over one's digital footprint. The way the internet works, once it's shared, it can be almost impossible to remove it offline. So you have very limited control over a digital footprint. So it is important that we are aware and keep track of what's going on. Some more challenges are social and peer pressure. Fear of retaliation or social exclusion often prevents victims from speaking up or seeking help. For example, Hannah Smith, a 14-year-old from the UK, faced online bullying fueled by peer pressure. The constant harassment and pressure from classmates led to emotional distress, and she tragically took her own life in 2013. This highlights how social and peer pressure can worsen the effects of cyberbullying. Technological advancements. New apps and platforms emerge frequently, creating new spaces for cyberbullying and making it harder to monitor and prevent. Another example is Rebecca Seedwick, a 12-year-old from Florida, was relentlessly bullied through social media and messaging apps. The rise of smartphones and social platforms made the harassment constant, leading to her tragic suicide in 2013. This highlights how technological advancements can make cyberbullying inescapable. As technology advances, so does the ability for people to cyberbully on social media, which can lead to tragic results, as we've seen through these several examples. Some more challenges: lack of parental and school oversight. Many parents and educators struggle to monitor online interactions effectively due to rapidly evolving technology and privacy concerns. Unlike traditional bullying, which often occurs in school settings where adults can intervene, cyberbullying happens on private devices, often without adult knowledge. Excuse me. This goes back to that idea of it's constant because it's always around, and because of that, there can be lack of parents and schools involved. For example, the Momo Challenge hoax, which spread fear among parents and educators in 2019, falsely suggested an online character was encouraging children to harm themselves. While largely a myth, it highlighted the difficulty adults face in regulating online threats. Involvement of multiple stakeholders. Tackling cyberbullying requires collaboration amongst parents, schools, social media companies, and law enforcement, but coordination can be difficult. For example, Grace McComas, a 15-year-old from Maryland, faced online bullying after personal photos were shared without her consent. Despite involvement from her school, parents, and social media platforms, the lack of timely action and coordination contributed to her distress. Tragically, Grace took her own life in 2012, highlighting how ineffective responses from multiple stakeholders can worsen cyberbullying. So there has to be just this coordination and collaboration amongst all the stakeholders involved so that people can get the help they need when they need it. Now, this whole presentation may seem like we're knocking social media. We promise we're not. There are lots of opportunities from social media as well. For example, social capital. The advent of social media allows students to more easily connect and collect what is known as social capital. Social capital is defined as creating a network of relationships that produce benefits related to the person's profession, life, and interests. This online connection allows for them to build bonds with people from different walks of life, which can be extremely beneficial when students interact respectfully. And also, it can help solidify bonds. What we know about social media skews negative. There can still be positive outcomes from social media. Social media is allowing for students to feel closer and more connected with their peers. Similar to passing notes in the 20th century, social media allows for the deepening of bonds that already exist offline, creating better and stronger friendships in the real world. When social media connections become an issue is when people's needs are not being met elsewhere and they turn to social media to fulfill their need for connection, which can breed negativity. It can lead to toxic relationships online. It can lead to cyberbullying. So as long as people's needs are being met outside the digital world, cyberbullying can decrease. So here are some strategies to resolve the issues for learners. Instruct students to save screenshots of abusive messages to report to a trusted adult. Saving these messages, making sure there's basically evidence of this happening and they can be shared with someone they trust, can lead to more ideas, more ways to help in the cyberbullying. And also ensure that your school has an internet safety program in place to teach students the importance of good digital citizenship. If students know how to interact with each other online, cyberbullying becomes less of an issue. We use several references in this presentation. Here are some of them listed here. Here are some more. And finally, our last slide of references. Thank you so much for listening and going through this presentation with us, and I hope you have a wonderful day.